Instagram, we are live. We're waiting on Facebook. There we go. Okay, good morning, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. My name is Julie Brower, and I am serving as TA for the Modern Management of the Older Adult, and that is alongside Christina Previtt and Dustin Jones. So it's Wednesday, which means it's Jerry on Ice Day. So on the Jerry PT front, if you're looking for inspiration, motivation, mentorship, if you want to learn how to better serve older adults from the hospital setting to the gym, join our crew. Our next 8-week online cohort starts on March 3rd, and on the road, you can catch Dustin and Alex this weekend. They're going to be in Kansas City. And then on February 27th and 28th, Dustin and I will be in Aiken, South Carolina. So if you're considering taking one of those courses, if you have any questions, just reach out to us and we'll be happy to jam with you about it. So our topic this morning is a situation that I know myself and many of you deal with on a daily basis and may have been dealing with for years. And that is the struggles of a fitness-forward clinician trying to operate in a non-fitness forward environment. So what I mean by this is fitness-forward clinicians who are working in a clinic, a health system that does not allow or encourage us to provide quality work. When who we are, personally and professionally, when our treatment philosophies, our morals, our ethics, our values are trying to live in a world surrounded by processes, management, colleagues that completely do not align. And I want to share some of my own experience journeying through these struggles with you guys and throw out some questions, some thoughts, some hard questions to get you guys to self-reflect on where you are right now and figuring out what you need to do about it and where you need to go. And we're going to hit on two of my biggest pieces of advice going through this struggle, which is 1, find your people, and 2, take care of yourself. So why we need to talk about this is because we're not talking about it. So we know that there are clinicians who have come out on the other side of this. They have been through these struggles. They got the scars to show it for sure. And now they, perhaps they own their own clinics. They're surrounded by fitness-forward individuals. They get to see patients one-on-one. They can over-deliver, exceed expectations. They're changing lives on a daily. Like, they love what they do, right? Like, we know them. We see them. We learn from them. Like, we want to be them. But it's way different if you're already out on the other side and you are talking about this process or talking about your journey. It's definitely a different scenario. It's much more uncomfortable and vulnerable to talk about when you are just in the thick of this, when you are bloody, bruised, and broken. You are trekking through the mud and you are a frustrated, overwhelmed, anxiety-ridden, depressed PT. You are so disenchanted with our profession and you don't know what to do, and you don't know where to go. Like, we need to go there. Like, we need to get into the messy stuff and hear about those stories from each other. And I really encourage you guys to comment, to reach out, to message us, and let us know where you're at. Like, if you're in the middle of this, just the really sucky part, tell us. Like, let us hear about it. If you come out on the other side, then let us know what it was like when it sucked and how you got there. Because, we need to elevate each other and help each other out. People, especially in these situations, need inspiration. And people follow people. So, if we want to create PT version 2.0, if we want to have a meaningful change in healthcare and change the culture, we have to elevate each other and level each other up and realize that there's so many of us who are here in this space, and we need to know we're not alone, and we need to help each other out. So, I'm going to share kind of a real life example of what it's like for me pretty much on the daily, the nitty gritty of the suck. And that many times looks like I am driving to work. Some of you may be driving to work right now, actually. And you start to get this visceral reaction. And it feels like unbelievable dread. You literally start to think like, I want this day to be over, and it hasn't even started yet. And you feel just this anxiety, and your heart drops into your stomach, and you pull in and you sit in your car in the parking lot, and you literally have to peel yourself out to walk in the door. And you have to give yourself this pep talk like, get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car, go. One patient at a time, one patient at a time. You literally have to give yourself this pep talk to get in there. And then many times you go through your day and you are getting 200% to sick, vulnerable humans, and you are probably one of the few that are appropriately dosing them. You get them to feel super strong. You set them up for maximal success. You give them this amazing experience. Yet you know that more than likely, the PT who's going to follow behind you is going to go back to 3x10 dosing. And you just do this all day, knowing it just feels like, what am I even doing? How can I make a change here? And that just repeats and repeats. And how hard is it to stay motivated when you know that's what's happening? And even if you talk to your colleagues or coworkers about Therax, about dosing, some of them they just don't care. They just don't care. And so, it could be from the management standpoint, like productivity. Like you walk in the door and you have a list of 13 people you have to see in the hospital. Or if you're an outpatient, you are double booked and triple booked all day. And you're just like, there is no way I can provide quality care for this many humans. And you literally have to decide. You have to triage. I'm going to give really good care to these, and then these, well, they're going to get the worst of me because that's all I got. That's what I have to do. From a management standpoint, especially during COVID, it could be that we, at a time when we need to be supported the most so that we still have everything to give to these sick, vulnerable humans, many of them who are isolated in the rooms because of COVID, we would expect that we would be lifted up and supported by our management. And unfortunately, that is not the reality for a lot of us. And that could be we're not being given the right PPE to wear. I mean, I literally was asked to not come back to a certain hospital site I work at because I refused to treat without the proper N95 mask. So I'm sure you guys have your own versions of what this could look like for you on a daily basis. And one of the most important things that we need to realize is that we have a choice. We do have a choice here. We are not completely stuck, right? And there are some of us who may be you may be completely apathetic. You may, like, this environment may not literally tear at your soul every day. You're fine being in that environment, going through the motions, clocking in and out, and, getting a paycheck and staying in it because it's comfortable. And if you are that person, I would ask you to self-reflect, because you probably are not someone that is meant to serve humans. And that's okay. I mean, there's no shame in this game if you have enough self-awareness to realize that this is not what you're meant to do. And in that case, it's like, please respectfully bow out and go find what lights you up. Go find what your passion is. Because we do not need any more clinicians who are contributing to what Dustin Jones had just coined, the professional pandemic of underdosing our older adults. And that would go for any patient population. So I don't think a lot of us are that person, right? Especially if you're in the ICE crew and you're listening to this, you're not there. Probably a lot of you are in the realm of flying under the radar, right? So you're a fitness forward clinician. You're not surrounded by any others. I like to call that like you're the one deadlift in a sea of ankle pumps. And you love what you do. It is so life-giving to work with your patients still. And so you're like, I'm just going to do my thing, get in, get out, fly under the radar. People don't ask questions, and that's kind of it. And you do that day after day. And I think, like, I did that. And I think that really does work for a period of time. But I think that life-giving experience from your patients, after a while, after this is chronic, it does not match up to the barriers and resistance that we get on the daily. And if you've been to any ICE physio course, you are so jazzed up, you are so inspired to make a change that you can't fly under the radar anymore. Like, it's not going to fly. You come back and you're having hard conversations with clinicians, with your colleagues, your coworkers, your friends. You're sticking up for yourself, you're advocating for yourself, you're advocating for your patients, and that's going to come to a head where you're no longer able to fly under the radar. I joke with Dustin, Alex, and Christina all the time that, like, I get sent to the principal's office all the time because I'm always challenging something, whether it's PPE or most recently I called my management out for being ageist because they were telling us to deprioritize seeing older adults. Putting them at a lower priority than other patients. So in addition to that, if you actually want to be on the mission to change healthcare, to create PT version 2.0, you can't do it flying under the radar. That's not how we make meaningful systemic cultural change. Not only does our message have to be front and center to all of our PT colleagues, we have to make that message public facing. So you have to step out of the shadows. So what else can you do? The third thing is get out, right? Start planning your exit strategy. And that could be abrupt, not that that's the best thing to do, pull an office space, right? And by I mean office space, just deciding I'm going to stop going into work today, not Milton, setting the place on fire. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then you need to watch Office Space. But more of planning your exit strategy. What do I want? Where do I want to be? And how am I going to get there? What are the steps I'm going to take every day to move towards what I want to do? So what you don't want to do is do what I did, which is literally let yourself get so far down in the mud that, I was on my way to becoming apathetic. I got onto autopilot mode. I just started to not care as much. And I literally got to a point, and sometimes I still feel this way, that I'd rather sit at home and not make any money than walk in those doors. And like, mentally, financially, like, this is not a good place to be. We can't, I let myself get way too close to this apathetic point. Don't do that, you know, and I had to snap myself out of it and realize that as a fitness forward clinician, like, I have a skill set, I have gifts to give, like, I can't be out of the game. You guys can't be out of the game. You can't bench yourself. Because if you're not in there playing offense with your patients, if you're not over-delivering, exceeding expectations, then who is, if it's not you? Like, I know that when I go into a patient's room, I am going to leave them better than I found them. Their experience, their trajectory, their outcome is going to be drastically different than if someone else went into that room. And that is this calling, this obligation that kind of pulled me back in. So that brings us to my two biggest pieces of advice. Like, what do we absolutely need to do? The first and foremost is find your people. You have to find mentors, individuals who light you up, who challenge you, who are teachers and clinicians, like people who you are like, they inspire me and I want to be part of their crew. And I'll tell you, you know, when I was in a very, very, very dark place with my job, when I was like, I don't even know if I want to be a PT anymore, I started to research outpatient clinics around Charlotte. And I came across one there was one PT who worked there. I knew her. She went to our gym, and I looked her up and researched her. It looks, hey, like, I think she does things the right way. You know, I think I could learn from her. I literally just walked into the clinic one day, said, hey, her name's Smith. I said, hey, Smith, this is who I am. I kind of want to transition out of the hospital. Can I know you're not looking to add anyone onto your team right now, but can I just shadow you, like, learn? And so I literally started in my free time to go into this clinic and fold towels and clean tables so I could just watch her treat. And then a series of months later, Jordan Berry walks into the clinic and he starts to work there. Jordan Berry, owner of Onward Charlotte, lead faculty for lumbar and cervical spine. And I started to watch him treat, and I was just like blown away. I was like, I need to learn more. And so I was just a tech. I had been practicing for 4 years almost, and I was folding towels and cleaning tables because I just wanted to listen to Jordan speak to his patients and learn how he treats. And he introduced me to the ICE philosophy. That led me to Dustin and Christina, and you know, my entire professional and personal life has been 100% changed for the better. So this is my biggest piece of advice. Reach out to people who you find inspiring and motivating. Reach out, consume what they put out, ask questions, learn from them, and then maybe, just maybe, they are going to want you to be a part of their tribe. So, second piece of advice, take care of yourself. No one other than fitness forward clinicians who are in a non-fitness forward environment. There's no one else who needs to be fitness forward and take care of their mental and physical health than us. Because we are literally going into an environment, many times a very toxic environment, that steals away our motivation, our creativity, our inspiration, completely, entirely drains us. We have to give ourselves as much capacity and as much resiliency as possible to walk in those doors and continue to love on our patients, and then to come home and be able to love on our significant others and our family members. I mean, we tell this to patients all the time. Patients who are older adults who we're trying to build their capacity to prevent getting COVID, right? To stave off chronic disease. fill up your glasses. We're trying to give them resiliency. We are preaching this. We have to do it for ourselves so that being in that environment doesn't completely knock us down. So whatever that is, work out as much as you possibly can. Do all of the fitness. Get serious sleep. Eat your leafy greens. Have a lot of sex with your partner. Lay out in the sun, go into the forest, whatever it is that brings you joy, that recharges you, that makes you bulletproof, going in to these environments and continuing to be the PT that you want to be, the person, the human that you were called to be. You have to take care of yourself. So I will end this with a quote from Jeff Moore, and he, just about a year ago, it was February 13th, he did a PT on Ice episode about burnout. And it just blew my mind. I wrote it down. I have it hanging up in my apartment. And I think about it every day. And I think you guys will resonate with this a lot. So he said, be a part of a team, a cause, a mission that is near and dear to your heart, that you believe, if it succeeds, legitimately leaves things better than you found it. If that is in your heart, your energy, your flame is never going to go out. That just, I get goosebumps, that speaks to my soul. So, guys, go find your people, take care of yourselves, and if you need somewhere to start, I told this when me and Dustin just taught in Oklahoma, we will be your people. We will be your people. Reach out. So with that, I need to run and get to rehab for a long day of patients, but have an awesome, awesome Wednesday. Please share your stories, share where you're at in the mess right now, and let's just all try and lift each other up. All right, guys, have a good day.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.